Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build model kits and hang out with you. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat. Harold, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Friends who came in with Harold, hello and welcome. Uh, do me a favor, if you're so able to, if you would like, you're more than welcome to stay. I welcome you because we just kicked off literally right now. Uh, Go up there and hit at the thing. Change it so it just says twitch.tv/PatBear and get rid of any extra bit of nonsense lettering there. Refresh so you're just doing that because that way your views count more for the algo. Look, I don't want to care about algorithms, but like I don't know. It's 2020, and I'm going to care about algorithms. Thank you so much, Harold, for being here. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. If you're a subscriber, throw the Barricade logo, the Scythe emote in the chat. Let the people know that you're a subscriber. A reminder, you got to manually renew that subscription, and if you use Twitch Prime, but if you use Cash Money, it auto-renews, but you can still hit that button to let us know that you're renewing, because it's rad. Um, what's on the agenda for today? Well, we're going to build more of the Justice Knight. That's right. We got that. Asmo's here. Hi, Asmo. Been a little bit. Happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about the fact that my local pizza place, which closed as soon as quarantine kicked off, reopened this week, did a soft reopen, and I went today. And I'll talk about that. Getting my favorite slice of pizza. My local slice that I've been craving. Getting that. I'll talk about that. We're also, of course, we're going to talk about Piccolo Day because it's Piccolo Day. It is not Piccolo Day, parentheses observed, because that is the 13th of May, because Funimation decided instead of doing May 9th when they did their dub, they called it May 13th because 9 is an unlucky number in Japan. They kept going with the unlucky number and made 13 that one, which I guess contextually is a choice, but I think they could have just kept it May 9th and no one would have cared. It doesn't matter that at all. I heard we're talking pizza. That's like the Asmo signal. Indeed, we will be talking about pizza because it was great. There were some, I'll just call them shenanigans involved where there are a lot of signs up about keeping a social distance and wearing a mask. And they definitely sold a bunch of pizza to someone not wearing a mask who also literally scoffed when I moved out of her way because she was walking right at me. No, thank you. Mr. Pop says, hi, Pat. I pizza too much this week. Mr. Pop, I get that. I don't know if I believe it, but I get it. I understand. Look, I've had pizza since March, but it's also like great to have the pizza that I want to have, not like, well, I got pizza at this place. Also, it makes me happy to support a local business. Let's go to the overhead. We're going to get into building in a moment or two. So let's go to the overhead here. Let's start working on our legs. It is indeed. You've heard it before. You heard it again. It's leg day. So we got to put some legs together. So we'll do that. But I'm happy to support a business that I really like. Like the guy that often serves me food at this pizza place was there working. And it was genuinely very nice to see him. And we're not on a name basis, but it's that thing where he can tell, like I'm a regular and like he knows I'm a regular and it was just nice to have like that like communication with someone. I was very pleased, very happy to see him. Happy to support, happy to get a pepperoni roll and that was excellent, and 2 slices of cheese that were excellent, and support a local business. But as I said, frustrated in the fact that they did that there was somebody they probably knew, and nobody was like, hey, get out of here. And I wish they had been like, you have to put a mask on, cut up an old shirt, get some rubber bands, put it on your dang face, and then come back. They did not say that. And that was frustrating to me. I would have preferred if they had enforce these signs that they have in their place. Because I'm trying to do my damnedest and do my best. Uh, Thank God. It got warm very briefly in New York. It is now cold again. It is like in the 40s cold again. And that is great because it is like already today on a Saturday, too many people when I went out. Like, yes, did I go out to get food? Yes, I did. Was I alone? No, I was not. And that I don't like. Hey, turns out I don't like seeing people. A lot of them. Somebody on the other side of the street, across the way, they give a head nod, you give a head nod, you go about your business. I got no problems with that. But like a bunch of people standing around real close to one another, no thank you. I got the good stuff after getting the beer good stuff. I just swing my car around. I understand, Mr. Bob. I still can't wake up for the drive through farmer's market, and I continue to regret this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, I'm not farmer's market mentally ready. I don't think. I don't think I can handle. I don't. I don't like going to the grocery store right now, and I have to psych myself up to do it. It's weird. Asmo says my local place has been open except for Easter weekend when they weren't for no posted reason. I was scared that the quarantine order. I had done a number of them. Yeah, I mean like the anything, just about anything Asian in my area, including the Asian grocery stores that were in my immediate area, all shut down. And I'm hoping they come back up. Uh, you know, but I don't know. But yeah, my local pizza place has a good pizza business, and they also have a sports bar. And so I believe they shut everything down at the beginning, mainly because they can't have the bar open, so they just shut things down. But now they're kind of like reopening, so much so that you can buy growlers now. So I think they're trying to get through. Although I certainly wouldn't recommend that because who knows? Maybe be fine. But yeah, uh, having my chain back, my chain, my like place back. I don't know. Felt nice. I liked it. Uh, Happy to get my two slices of cheese on my pepperoni roll, and it was very good. Gave me some marinara sauce, which I appreciate. That was nice because it's nice to dip in marinara sauce. That's fun. That's a fun thing. I don't ask for it. I got it. This is a bonus. Oh, also, the pub that I hung out is opening their kitchen for curb pickup Thursday or Tuesday. That's cool, Mr. Bob. Uh, yeah, some local stuff has been open since. There was a deli that had closed early that was open late. Oh, there was one thing. Look, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. Okay, I'll say this. I don't quite know how to feel about this. But I feel weird about food trucks, and I saw a food truck today. One, because I don't know how people are gonna do the distance thing and respect space, and two, I already sometimes don't feel 100% great about food trucks. That I don't know. I want to be supportive of a local business, and I have ordered food from these folks before, but I don't know how to feel about that. Asmo has nuggets on the way, and I already have preemptive regrets. Asmo, no, my friend. No, you're in the best period. You're in the possibility zone. You've got nuggets coming, and they're going to be great. Those nuggets are never going to be better than they are right now in your dream thoughts. And then the second best thing, which is having those nuggets. Then you're getting those nuggets, and you're having those nuggets. And then the third thing is regretting those nuggets. Don't regret until you've had. Live in the possibility space that you're about to have nuggets. And then live in the reality of, yeah, nuggets. And then be aware and self-reflect. Nuggets? What? I, And then, after that regret is over, the forgetfulness. And then the hype for nuggets once again. That's a cycle. Get into it. Mr. Bob says all of the food truck friends are part of the drive-through farmers market. They're steaks and pies. I mean, I like steaks and pies. I also like meat pies. So sometimes meat pies have steak in them. So steak pies are pretty good too. Um, I'm in a mood, and I don't like. Let's see. I'm not gonna get into it, but there's a like a Twitter thing going around of like a mom who it's like a happy mom of a gamer, a teen gamer, and I'm not gonna like get into it. You'll find it. It's been retweeted onto your timeline probably, but it definitely made me cry, and that was and it was good. It was a good cry. It definitely made me feel things, and it was nice. Yeah, Lasberg says it has. Yeah. Mr. Bob can't wake up on a Saturday morning these days to find out about steak pies. Mr. Bob, you can start right there. I can't wake up. 'Cause yeah, sometimes uh sometimes I can't fall asleep right away because my brain isn't done thinking thoughts. Uh and some nights I just watch YouTube video clips of anime that I watched in the 90s for no good reason. It's just like, there's going to be a spin off anime of Inuyasha. Well, better watch dub clips of Inuyasha till 7 in the morning. Because that's what I did last night, folks. I watched a whole lot of clips. I tweeted about how I think that the opening song to the Cells at Work theme, the opening song to the anime Cells at Work, is indeed ska, because it is a ska song. And then I read an article about how Inuyasha's daughter and Chisoru's daughter from the past, or twins' daughters from the past, are in a crew together, and they go on adventures, and how that's an anime that's going to have an anime adaptation. And I was like, cool. I like this idea. Yeah, I'm into it. I'm going to watch clips about Inuyasha. And then I did for a real long time. Because you know this. You know this. You're aware of this. The internet, particularly YouTube. Let's say specific YouTube. YouTube has anything you're looking for, except if it doesn't. If it doesn't, there is no trace of it, and you are sunk, or stuck. But if it does have it, it has all of it, and stuff you didn't know existed. Like, I haven't watched all of the Inuyasha movies, because there are a bunch of them. I have watched clips of all of the Inuyasha movies as of last night. As far as I can tell from cross-referencing, I have seen at least a minute of every Inuyasha movie. And I don't need that. I didn't need that. But damn if I don't have that in my life right now. That's just a thing in my life. We're putting stickers on a kit right now. Whoever manages analytics for certain wrestling-focused YouTube channels has probably noticed a real strange spike in views on weeknights in Seattle between 2 and 5 a.m. I understand. Also, I mentioned this last night on Twitter, because we'll just talk about it. Everybody's run out of videos of a thing they like because only some content makers are putting stuff out, sure. Others aren't. And so you run out of your usual. Or you watch sports and there aren't sports. Or you watch anime and there's less anime. Or whatever it is. There's less of the thing. So you got to watch new things or old things that you didn't know you liked. Like, I haven't played Magic the Gathering since the late 90s. I have friends that love it, and I love them. But I don't care about Magic the Gathering. It's not a thing I care about. It was actually never really a thing I cared too much about because the best thing about Magic the Gathering for me was that I quickly realized that I can't play a physical card game because I need to have all the cards that I want to play, and that's a problem, and I can't do that because having all the cards is bad because then you got to buy them all. So I can't play TCGs. They got to be online, and even then, I can't play too many of them. But I learned that about myself, which I didn't know until Magic the Gathering. So that's great. I learned my lesson. It was an expensive lesson, but it could have been worse because I didn't have a lot of disposable income. Imagine if I had a job when I got really into Magic. Anyway, I'm out of Magic. But you know what I'm really into? Videos of some guy talking about fake ass Magic cards, showing you why the cards are fake, talking about how there was a mistake at one of the companies that rates your Magic cards and how they clearly goofed it up. I've been watching a lot of videos about some dude named Rudy who apparently knows a shitload about Magic cards. Does he? I assume so. He talks a good game. But we did get to the point where it went from I have now watched a lot of the videos of you talking about fake ass Magic cards. The secret is the older cards have a matte finish, not a shiny finish, but all fakes have a shiny finish. That is a good way to tell immediately if a card is not right. Now, there are some cards that have a shiny finish, but most of the cards that people are forging, a lot of the not most of them, but a lot of those would not. They would have a matte finish. Apparently, that's a great way to know. Also, the placement of the mana cost number means a lot. I'm picking up things. This will not help me. But then I also found out that Rudy, while he makes videos where he's like, this card's bullshit. No, these cards are real. Ooh, this is actually a good card. I'm going to see if this person who asked me to make sure their cards are real be interested in selling me this card. He also has stuff like, this expansion's going to ruin the business. And I'm like, oh, okay. Of course, you also have these videos, huh? You got rant videos too. Okay. Well, of course you do. You're a person with an internet YouTube channel. Of course you have rant videos. Technically, some of Pat Baer's anime clubs are rant videos. I have been trying not to put out Pat Baer's Anime Club an episode where I rant about my pet peeves in anime because I don't need that. The world doesn't need that. I talk about them as they come up. I don't need to make a video specifically about just pet peeves. It's on my list as a topic to do, and I've just been trying not to do it. I keep mentioning it so that I remember, wait, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put out a video where I'm just mad about things. Because that comes up naturally. And I think it's okay when it comes up naturally. Like, when I talk about a thing and I'm like, also the teacher is also interested in the main character. And then I have to be like, stop doing that. You know, it's like, that comes up. I don't need to talk about the trope of that, about how in a show that is a comedic romance show, adults are making terrible choices about who they have a crush on, and I wish that trope would go away. I could just talk about that when I'm talking about a show, positively or negatively. I don't need to talk about that just as on its own. I can talk about it in context. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not here to be like, you can't feel the way you feel, right? I'm also not here to say, only talk, they're pretty indistinguishable these days. Yeah. I'm also not here to say, only talk about positive things, right? Like, Grand Line Reviews is a Grand Line Review, I should say, is a YouTube channel I like, and it is focused on One Piece. And I think the guy does a great job. He stopped doing episode reviews, partially because he was just being too negative. He felt he was being too negative, and I'm sure that that affected him because there are anime fans who were probably unhappy with his negative reviews of it. But also, I bet that partially he was also just like, I'm not enjoying this. I don't need to just make videos where I'm just unhappy. I could be instead making videos about things that do bring me joy because I really like the series. I'll focus on some other things. And I think that's the way to go. A very popular tech streamer, and I've debated whether or not I was going to bring this up because it shouldn't irk me, but it does irk me. But every once in a while, he'll mention it. So, a prominent tech person, a YouTube tech person, right? I watch his videos. He's good. He's interesting. He does, makes some good videos. Makes some stuff I don't love. Some of his stuff that he's also interested in, his extra stuff, I'm like, man, I'm not super into that stuff. But whatever, you do you. Well, he did a model kit build on a stream, or not a stream. He did a video with like a time lapse and talked about doing a model kit, and he didn't have a good time doing it. And I wish he had just hadn't put the video out. Because, and he tweeted about this not too long ago, how like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Well, my model kit video did terrible. Nobody liked it. It didn't get a lot of views. And I was like, of course it didn't get a lot of views. Cutting out things like that where people are exclusively only negative has kept me 80% more calm, pleasant, and relaxed. Yeah, Asmo. So, in this instance, so here's the thing. There's no win here, right? So, he didn't have a good time with model kit. Plastic model kit stuff snapped together. Didn't enjoy it. So, if you don't like model kit building, you're going to see it's a video about him model kit building. You're not going to watch because you don't like model kit building. Because you don't want to, maybe he didn't like it either, and then he can be mad about it, and you can hate watch it, but you're probably not going to hate watch it to see him not like it. You're just going to avoid it because you already know I don't like model kit building. I'm not going to watch this guy model kit build. That's not what I want to do. Or you do like model kit building. You think Gunpla fucking rules. It's one of your favorite things to do. And now a person you like on the internet doesn't like it and kind of shits on the thing you like. And that sucks. And it's not just like he in passing says like, oh, yeah, model kit building's just not for me. He like makes a video about how he doesn't like your thing. And why would you like that? So why would you, you're either going to stop watching the video or you're going to leave a comment. And maybe, just maybe, you leave a comment going, I wish you liked the thing I like. It's a bummer you don't. That's like the best thing possible, and that's not going to happen. Most likely you're just going to not say anything. You're not going to comment, you're whatever, and then... So there's no winning in that scenario. At all. Oops, that flew out of my hands. And it's, yeah, it's a bummer. And it sticks with me a little bit. And it's good that it sticks with me, I think, because the hope is that I can understand a little bit as I, like, approach things, right? Like, when I do my, I did my, like, I think I did, like, last season, I did Pat Baer's Anime Club. Here are my favorite shows from the season, and a couple that kind of bummed me out. I made sure that I talked a lot more about the shows that I was really psyched about, and I made sure that it wasn't just like, oh, this show wasn't that funny, or this show is weird. In the second hour, I'm going to talk about a show that only has 2 episodes because it's on hiatus right now because of stuff. I'm not going to watch the second episode because the first episode, I realized, oh, I am not enjoying. I don't think I got the response they want from me. I'm not even going to waste my time. and I'll talk about it because I want to talk about the shows that I'm interested in or that I've tried. And most of the time when I talk about shows, it's because either I really would like you to watch them because I think they're good, or hey, just so you know, this is my feeling on the show. Take it or leave it. Um, but I I I do try my best to like like even in ranking, Baering the List, my ranking videos, right? My ranking video thing is mostly for fun. I do take some of it seriously, um, and that's nonsense. I know it's silly to take that seriously, but like I catch myself giving my like actual thoughts on things. The latest one, which came out on Wednesday, ranks the Straw Hat Pirates. Uh, you might never have known my feelings on the character Frankie. Well, if you watch that video, you'll find out. Even if it's light and silly, I'm still like, God damn it! I really just like this guy. Just dislike the character. He's like outside of proportions, which is a whole separate issue with One Piece. He's the character I least like after the time skip because he just got 1,000 times worse. And no other character got worse after the time skip. With the possible exception of Robin doesn't have a lot to do in the storyline, but otherwise, like, characters either got cooler or didn't really change. Uh, but, like, I'm not going to dedicate a video to why Frankie sucks. But it came up, and I'm going to talk about it. And that's kind of the balance I'd like to have. Um, I'm going to make in the future, because I made next week's already. Next week's is in the can. In the future, I'm going to do a Baering the List about Toonami. That to me is the positive version of me being unnecessarily, and I know, annoyed with a certain crew of individuals ranking tournament of shows from Toonami. Uh, in their weirdness bracket. That I'm like, I don't like this. I'm not gonna pretend to like that. Yu-Gi-Oh was only part of Toonami for like 6 weeks. So I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna go like, here are the Moltar years, and I'm gonna rank all the shows in the Moltar years because that is like a good way to like have my thoughts on a series and like get my thoughts out there. I'm just gonna do that because I think that is more constructive than being like oddly and weirdly annoyed with how some people do a thing, and instead I can just do my version of it. I think that's like, I don't know. I'm trying. Look, I'm in a weird spot. I think we all are to various degrees, some more than others. But I've been trying to be like positive, and also I've been trying to keep shit positive in what I consume. And that doesn't necessarily, that obviously that doesn't mean like, oh, I'm only watching the lightest of, easiest of like media or whatever. Like I am in some instances, but like it means, okay, this episode to of Bon Appetit is unnecessarily harsh and mean. I'm going to stop watching this video. I don't know why it is the way it is, but no thanks. Not interested. Do I think the chicken necks taste good? No. I personally don't. I've had them in stews. Don't particularly think that's the great part of the chicken. But I'm not here to say that somebody's recipe sucks. Uh, so I was like, oh, I'm going to stop watching this video. It is bumming me the fuck out. Uh, and I just went and rewatched the last Gourmet Makes because it was joyful and nice. Claire had a great time, and everybody was psyched that Claire was having such a good time. And it was just like, oh, this is what I want to watch. Got it. I don't want to watch this video of the guy with fairly proven, not the best taster in the world anyway. Pretty much proven. He's not nailing it. He's doing better than I would do, but that doesn't say much because I would do terrible at everything. But I was like, oh, I don't need to watch this. I think that's like, uh, that is like, I guess that's my big advice. Like, you don't, in the same way, yeah, you don't have to engage. You don't have to give them you don't have to give people that, like, fucking look out for yourself and, like, I don't know, take care of yourself and be like, oh, I don't need this. I don't need to engage with this. I can avoid this. I can deal with this, later. Like, okay, great. I think that's totally reasonable. Uh, Way to go about it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I got a sort of. I was thinking about Fallout 76 because of the two things that Fallout 76 didn't have that I wanted. Well, here's the thing. Fallout 76 didn't have a thing that I like most in the game. And it had a thing that I don't particularly enjoy. And since it added a thing that I was missing about Fallout 3 and New Vegas and 4 that I really like, I was like, okay, well, it added the thing that I like, and it's still the thing I don't like, but maybe I'll give it a go. And I haven't yet. And for the most part, I'm content with that. The thing that it has that it didn't have that I miss is Asmo has nuggets. Hell yeah, Asmo. Enjoy those nugs. You got them. Is the NPCs are here. And I miss NPCs. I miss companions. Uh, I've come to really enjoy having companions in Fallout and having people that know things and know people and do go about stuff and have radiant quests and have, like or dislike the choices you make. I like those things. Those things are great to me. And having people like react to you and be there and do things. And Sheffield's always going to want a cola. He's always going to need that Nuka-Cola. No matter how many times I play Fallout 4, he's always going to need that Nuka-Cola. And I'm always going to give him a Nuka-Cola, and then I'm going to have him travel to one of my settlements and work for me. That's going to happen every time. Like, okay, cool. If I'm playing Fallout New Vegas, I'm always going to help that one girl who's in a bad way in Gamora escape and get reunited and get into a better situation. Of course I'm going to do that. Like, yeah. Uh I like NPCs in Fallout. Now, the thing that Fallout 76 has that they aren't going to get rid of, because how would they do that, is the whole fact that it's like, it's an online game. And instances make that better in some things. The bar in the opening now, that's your bar. It's your instance. It's whatever. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. That's happening. That just to me right now. Throwing instances in there, I'm like, that's kind of an interesting way to solve it. But that doesn't really solve it. Because really, I just don't want to play Fallout 76 online. Uh, there's Fallout lore that I don't know right now, and it's weird to like that there's all this Fallout story and these characters and these raiders that kind of came like the idea that some of the first raiders after in the survivors that in West Virginia some of the first actual raiders were people that were at this kind of like expensive what's the term for it? It's they were it was like a getaway like for rich people in Virginia in West Virginia. So these were like well-to-do folks that had like they were athletic, young, well-to-do people, and they started a society up, and they ran out of materials, so they started taking from other people, and then they gave into their bloodlust and became raiders. And I'm like, that's a cool lore thing. Finding out about this Vault-Tec and what they did there, and uh, there's just cool shit that I want to know more about, like the town that got all turned into super mutants before the war. Uh, because West Tech was doing FEV experiments. Like, this is all like lore shit that I really like. Uh, oh, uh, the ghoul that is obsessed with the Silver Shroud in Fallout 4. Ken? Yeah, Ken. Well, he's not in 76, but there are references to him because, like, he's an expert in the Silver Shroud, and then there's this woman who did the voice for the femme fatale side character of that, and it's just like that's a cool thing that I'm like, I love that. I love that he's referenced as being like the guy that knows all this stuff as an expert. Like that's awesome. But also, I don't want to play. Uh, I just don't really want to play that Fallout game, and it's weird to not want to play it. It's like a strange thing. Yeah, and I don't know how they solve for all of the characters that, uh, like, there were robots left over, but there weren't NPCs, and there were all these notes and terminals and all this stuff, and now there are people that did survive, and I guess this theory is that there's a mysterious radio signal that went out, so, the first responders all died, and then uh, all these people came, but all the people who are coming are like coming back to Virginia. They weren't immediate survivors, I guess, is what they're saying. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. But I don't know. One of these days, I'm just going to have to, like, read a wiki. A wiki. Wiki? Why did I say wiki? A wiki. One of these days, I'm just going to read the Fallout wiki on Fallout 76. Like, when they're only putting out they're done putting out content packs and updates and all that. I'll just read through all of it before. I don't know. I assume Fallout 5, but who knows? But maybe a Fallout 5 comes out, so I know all the stuff. I don't know. That's me. So let's see. Monday, build stream. As usual on Monday. Don't worry about it. We're doing our normal Monday build stream. Tuesday night, I'm playing again at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going back in, picking up where I left off in Arcade Spirits. I really enjoy that. I've been playing my own separate game of it a different way that will not affect the playthrough that is the stream playthrough. That will live on as it lives on with no problems there. Excited about that. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be on someone. I'm not going to do a bonus stream on Wednesday because I'm doing it on Tuesday. Because on Wednesday, I'm going to be a guest on a thing. and I still don't know if I could talk about it yet. So when I know, hopefully on Monday, I think on Monday I'll be able to talk about it. But I'm gonna be doing a thing on Monday, which should be very fun, and I'm also very nervous about. But it should be pretty cool. So that's on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Saturday, the usual, the usual. Um, I still want to do 404ing it live on a Wednesday this month. I don't know when that will be. I'm hoping it'll be on Wednesday because that's when I do bonus stuff. Um, when I know more, you'll know more. I still want to do a 404ing it. I'm working on people's schedules and trying to accommodate people and make it so that they can do it and get the people that I would really like to be on it to do it. Because the goal is to at least have at least two people doing it who have been on in the past. So the majority of my guests uh, did the show previously. Because it'll just be a nice little reunion, and also then easier to explain what we're doing. So we'll see. That's the goal anyway, is to do another uh, 404ing it, because I think that'll be really cool to do. What is this? Okay. Oh, we mentioned earlier. Hey, it's Piccolo Day. Happy Piccolo Day. Um, the Piccolo, as we know him from Dragon Ball Z, is the egg rebirth of King Piccolo from Dragon Ball. The older version of Piccolo that looks more like Kami. Uh, he declared he was taking over the world, and so that every year they would celebrate his victory, or his day, which is May the 9th. So happy Piccolo Day to all of you. I hope you had a good Piccolo Day, celebrating a good surrogate dad and good surrogate grandfather. I posted a photo. I still have my Piccolo action figure model kit, which one of my favorite things about that kit is it comes with, there is a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan with his hair all pointed straight up like Super Saiyan 2 style. This, there is a part of the kit in the Piccolo that has hair for Super Saiyan 1 Gohan. So you can have Super Saiyan Gohan uh, one hair, because he's already wearing the outfit that Piccolo wears when he goes into battle. So now you can just fully deck him out, and that's just cool to me. Uh, this is like a cool little add-on. Uh, that's one of the best little extra bonuses that comes with those kits. The best bonus probably is that um, Krillin, one of Krillin's accessories is the button, the remote control that would detonate the bombs inside of the androids. Uh, that is a cool little nonsense thing they did not need to include. That I'm very happy they did, because it's a fun bonus. All right. Okay. On there. Let me just check this. Uh, I posted my thoughts. I posted a comment on a YouTube video, and so I'm getting responses to that. Because, uh, okay, that doesn't mean anything. Um, oh, I'll mention this. Talking about negative weird stuff. So, there's a Getting the Robot had a video about the generation of soft boy um, protagonist and shown it. How Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia are among several shows that have characters that have a lot more heart than you would necessarily see in shonen. They are a lot more caring. and how that is a change um, in how these characters, have been in the past. This is wrong. Shit. Shit, shit, shit. I did this wrong. I put the foot together wrong, so now I have to take these apart. Um, and so I commented about how there are a couple other examples. Shinra from Fire Force is also a modern example, and Asta, how they are like, they don't have the ego. They're not necessarily the smartest characters, but they don't have the ego of some uh, other shonen protagonists. And someone apparently just commented about how Kuwabara has more heart than them. And I don't want to be like, I look. Part of me does want to be like, well, Kuwabara is not the protagonist of Yu Yu Hakusho. Yusuke is the protagonist of Yu Yu Hakusho, and Yusuke is an asshole. The whole point of Yu Yu Hakusho is that one time in his life, Yusuke did a selfless act, and it was so shocking that the Lord of the Underworld was like, huh, well, I guess he has potential. He could live again. Because he surprised us. Like, that's literally the plot of the show. Is that, like, dude did a surprise. Because he's just a punk. So, yeah. Maybe I don't think that, I don't really think that that's a point you can make. Is that Kuwabara has more heart than Asta. And somebody else was just like, there was another comment that was like telling me about a video about the plot holes in Black Clover. And it's just like, why would I want to watch that? Why would I want to watch a rant video from some guy about the plot holes in an anime if I'm telling you about how the main character for this anime rules? Like, maybe I would want to watch that. I don't know. I mean, I watch a lot of videos on the internet, so maybe I would also want to watch that rant video by some guy. But I bet I don't want to watch that. There, I will say this. Most of the comments in reply to my comment are people agreeing with me, and I've got a lot of thumbs up on it. So I'm winning a little bit there. Winning by giving people other examples of good shonen boys. Uh, because luckily this video did not talk about Gone, because some people are under the deluded idea that the main character, the at the time main character of Hunter x Hunter, is not one of the most selfish characters in all of shonen, because he 100% is. Because Gone's whole fucking deal is, I want to become a hunter because I want to figure out what's so good about this thing. This being a hunter must be awesome because my dad abandoned me so that he could keep being one. So it must rule, and I want to find out more about it. That's it. That's the whole reason he wants to be a hunter. He later has some justification for other things he does, but for the most part, his big motivating factor is, I want to learn more about this thing. No, Mudo, he really does it. I mean, he kind of wants to see his dad. Um, but he doesn't he doesn't really care about it. Like, he doesn't want to know more about what his dad was like when he was growing up. He mostly just wants to find out if his dad is a cool hunter or not. He doesn't take the hunter exam to find his dad. He takes the hunter exam to be like, I want to know why this thing must be so cool if you gave up everything to do it. And then eventually he's just like, he is going to find his dad, but it's not really. Yeah. And then because the anime, also, an interesting thing, I will say this, a very interesting thing about Hunter x Hunter is, uh, it's not the manga isn't about Gon anymore. He stops being the main character because of events and things that happen, of which he makes the big decision, but he is not the main character, and it just continues, and it becomes another character's story, which is fucking weird as hell. Uh, Generally, you just end the manga and start a new manga with a side character as the main character. You don't just go, well, it's called Hunter x Hunter, not Gone, freaks, so we're good. We'll just keep going with it. Come check out my cool anime about uh, Krapika, our new main character, and his whole thing is kind of incredible. I do, I admit I'm not super caught up with the manga, but I think that's pretty neat. Uh, yeah, I mean, like, I will say this. Gon is more motivated to get revenge for his teacher than he is to find his dad, which at least that is, admirable. That like, maybe Kite can be resurrected or healed, or or if not, I will get my revenge for what you did to my master. Cool. That's like that's some shonen shit. But Asta wants to be a hero that everyone can be proud of, and he wants to prove that hard work is all you need. Even if you don't have magic ability, you could become the most. Somehow, without magic, you can become the Wizard King, the coolest shit in the world. Shinra promised his mom that he would grow up to be a hero. And even though people think that he murdered her and his younger brother, he's still trying to be a hero. And now he's also added the thing of my brother is not dead, a shitty evil group that caused a bunch of nonsense to happen, including that, has my brother, I'm going to save my brother. Uh, Midoriya wanted to be a hero so much, he ate a dude's hair. And now, he wanted to be a hero so badly, he is now inheriting the will of the best hero in the world, who is now retired. And so he has to become the symbol of peace. So he has inherited a whole lot of shit to deal with. Like I don't know, there's some cool shit. Yeah, because like talking about Yosuke, um, Yosuke did one nice thing in his life, and then everything got weird, and then he just wants to fight tough people. Really, he really just wants to fight tough people. One of Yosuke's motivating factors is a dude. Oh, my ancestor took over my body and killed a guy, and I'm mad about that. So now I'm going to go to the underworld to find my ancestor to beat him up for taking over my body and killing a dude. Because I didn't want to kill that dude. Like, that's the biggest thing for Yosuke. Most of the rest of his story is just, I have a part-time job being a ghost detective. I don't know. When there are various other things that happen. And don't get me started on Bleach, because that is just nonsense. Because there is a story to Bleach. Things happen in Bleach. There are characters and there are plot lines and there's a whole lot of stuff. But it is just utterly convoluted and complete nonsense. I guess that's going to come back. Bleach is going to come back. And I was like, Sure, okay. We really gotta finish off the we gotta see the animated Quincy Wars. Like we gotta see the Quincy Wars. I guess. I don't know. I don't think Chad ever gets powered up. So what's the point? If you're not gonna power up Chad, what are we even doing here? Well, I mean, what are we doing? Right? You all know. You all remember Chad and think that he should have power crept along with the rest of them instead of plateauing and not being very useful in the grand scheme of things, and that he should have been like pretty awesome because you're the kind of person that like decides that minor characters are cooler than some of the main characters, and so you start rooting for the minor characters to have like their cool moments, and when they don't, you're disappointed, right? It's not just me. I mean, sometimes it is just me, but I think in this case there are other people who are similar. Bleach has an amazing first season, and then it jumps so far up on it. I mean, here's the thing, Ig. That sometimes mangaka are just like, oh, and I'll make this. Oh, and I guess I'll make this, and this. Oh, I guess I'll justify this with that. And some mangaka are like, I have this grand plan for the next 8 years. And these are all subtle things that are going to pay off. And a lot of Bleach apparently is the latter, not the former, because it seemed like obviously part of the problem is that it's got a lot of filler and it's got some garbage filler, and so that's a problem. That's certainly a problem. Filler is always going to be a problem, but a lot of it is just like it was always up its own ass because like there are hints early on of like I'm not going to get into the Bankai stuff, but there are hints early on that they don't pay off in the manga till years and years later, where it's like, this is actually what was happening. And you're like, what? Fuck off. It's nonsense. But the premise is always fucking, the premise of Bleach is fucking cool. This kid, this guy, who's always been able to see monsters and ghosts and knows that something fucked up happened to his mom, and it definitely changed him. Has the opportunity to now be able to like fight these monsters, and it gets wrapped up in a whole thing, in this whole like the Soul Society and this whole like Shinigami thing, and it's this bigger picture, and there's a lot more at stake, and there's betrayal and all these other things. And one of my favorite things is there's this whole thing that happens. You meet all these characters, and then you find out that every badass you saw in the Soul Society, right? You think of any character, if you watched Bleach, any of those captains, all of them, except for the guy who's in charge of everything, there's a tier between the guy who's in charge of everything and all those captains. There's like another level of badass people that you don't meet for a very long time. And then they're introduced and you're just like, what? What the fuck? So it's not like new villains show up. It's, oh no, there's a whole other crew of badasses. They've just been hanging out and waiting. Yeah, Squad Zero. Yeah, Lashbrook. There's just a whole crew. And hey, and also, we have to come up with a reason why they didn't help out before when everything went to fuck. Because you can't explain why there's a whole crew of people that could instantly beat Ichigo in an instant. That could stop the guy who is betraying them and taking over. They could stop Aizen with no problem. But we can't have them be there. But also we'll just introduce them. Because any of them probably, not any of them, most of them could have stopped it. Oh god, it's just that fucking show. Also, Bleach is okay. It's an alright show. Uh, I have spoken in the past. I will speak again about how I legitimately think that number one, uh, Ichigo's theme fucking rules. You ever hear that song? It's a song that plays a lot when he's doing stuff like wailing guitars, cool ladies singing about being number one. The chorus fucking rips. That song is awesome. If you haven't heard it, I highly recommend it. Uh, it is a dope track. All right, I'm trying to figure out where this goes. This goes here, so this goes like this. Nope, that doesn't seem right. Nope, that doesn't seem right at all. Like that. Yeah. Um, the idea of a sword so sharp that it has to be kept a big fish tank of liquid because it'll cut through any scabbard is still rad as hell. Lashbrook, there's a lot of shit that's rad as hell in that show. Uh, yeah, Lashbrook, they didn't do anything. Yeah. And all the Quincy shit is just bad. Um, that's all dumb. I mean, look, as I said, there's a whole arc that's terrible that is filler. But there is a guy that Kenpachi is just like, I don't fight weak dudes. And the dude is just like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm clearly so. Like, he just gets, this big, dumb, idiot guy just gets sliced in half, like, instantly. And usually you want, like, I don't know, fights to happen between characters. Um, you rarely want to see a squash match in anime. You do want to see the good guys come up and pull things out. You don't want to see necessarily, but you don't necessarily want to see a blowout. But that dude just gets smoked, and it's pretty good. Uh, so there is some okay shit in Bleach, but for the most part, I'm like, meh, I don't know. I think I'm okay, but well, I think we're good. Uh, although low key super strong people that wear like dumb hats and just look chill and are low key super strong but are acting like they're not, it's pretty good. I do like that shit. I do like that very much. Like, oh, I'm actually pretty awesome, but I've been very chill about how awesome I am. I do like that. I don't want to say I don't like that. I did not think I would be talking about Bleach today, so that's a fun surprise. Did not expect Bleach to come up in conversation on tonight's stream. But you know what? You can't pick it all the time. Sometimes those conversations just come up, um, and that's okay. That's more than okay. That's just fun. Uh, Harold says, I believe it's pronounced Belch. Harold's throwing jokes out here. Okay. All right, Harold. Okay. Okay, Harold. Okay. All right. Ease up. Easy does it, Harold. Uh, you mean Bletch. Yeah. Yeah. No, I made Bleach. Dang it. No. Talking about Bleach. Okay, so now we are halfway done with our waist. We did our body here. We did our legs as we were talking. Of course, I fucked up a thing and then fixed it. We were doing some of our waist here. We got to do the front parts of the waist here. The skirt. Got to build that skirt. And then we're going to put the whole thing together, and that's going to be great. Then we're going to build the night wing, which is just a cape. It opens up, but it's a cape. It's a cape. And we got to finish the night wing. Then we got to build the sword and the lance and the shield. And the gun lance. We'll put all that together. The cape does attach to the shield with the sword and become a drone type thing, and that doesn't make sense. Hello, Dirty. Dirty is coming in and wants me to hit that gong, so I'm gonna hit that gong. Okay, gong time. Hi, Dirty. Thanks so much for popping in. Hit that gong for you. Ig through the Bear Cave and the Lego emote. If you're currently a subscriber, listen to the emote. We're going to take a pause for the cause right now. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the stream if you're so inclined. And then we will get back to building, and I'll talk about some anime that came out this week, including one that came out a couple weeks ago, but I hadn't watched it until recently. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. Reminder, if you use Twitch Prime, because you have your Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you have to manually renew that. If you don't do that, you can just hit you hit the button if you're actually renewing monthly using cash, so that we can say thank you. You can also gift subscriptions to other people. So if there's somebody in chat and you're like, they should have a sub, you can give them that sub. If you would like to, do that, that would be great. You can also do bits, coins, that kind of thing. Bits are always appreciated, so that I hit that minimum and get that monthly payout. I appreciate that very much. But also, you don't have to do any of that. I have a Patreon. You can join my Patreon. You get videos in advance. Tomorrow, if you're a $5 or $10 patron, tomorrow you will get the latest episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, which is a special episode where I talk about things that are a little different from normal. Well, that's going out a day early to my $5 and $10 patrons. They're getting that tomorrow. So if you want to watch that a day early before Monday, then you just subscribe for $5 or $10, or you can do the $1 or $3 if you want. You've got options, and I appreciate you using those options to support me. Also, one-time donations so that I can buy model kits. Always appreciate that. Anything that gets donated during the stream goes in a fund for me to buy model kits, Lego sets, things to build in the future. You're under no obligation to do that. You do not have to do anything like that. If you're watching this later on YouTube, all of this is in the show description, so you can just go and click on that and read through these links and see the links. I have an Amazon wish list. You could buy something off my wish list. This was bought off my wish list. Natalie bought this off my wish list, and I'm building it now. I got a bunch of things in there. Lego sets, high grades like this. Some things have Amazon Prime shipping. Some don't. I would recommend, if you are going to buy something off my wish list, get something that has the shipping included. You are obviously if you want to, that would be great. There's a bunch of different things on that list. It's always a nice treat to get mail these days and to get something to build, and it'll jump the queue. The next thing we're building off after this is a Lego set that I can't wait to build. But I have other stuff in my backlog, and that I'll jump ahead. I'll go, you know what? I'm not building that off my backlog. I'm building this thing, because you mailed it to me. We'll get through this pretty quickly here, folks. We got a few more things to talk about. But if you don't want to do that, but you still like to, help me out purchasing something, you can buy a gift card from USA Gundam Store. They're shipping things. You could buy a gift card that you get an email with the code. You DM me on Twitter. You send me a whisper here on Twitch with that code, and you're like, here, you get that, and I buy it. The last thing we built was bought with a gift card, mostly with a gift card, and then some other money from other things. Appreciate that very much. I have a Discord. If you haven't already joined Discord, jump in that Discord. It's cool. I'll post photos of stuff that I'm working on stream afterwards. People post things they're working on. It's nice. If you'd like to join that, that would be pretty cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and retweet my tweet here. Retweet and tweet that we worked. So I got the Discord, a couple video links. As I said, I have a new Pat Baer's Anime Club coming out on Monday. Last one is shows you can watch right now. Some anime that are pretty chill and, just like nice and relaxing ones. And a couple ones that have a lot of episodes. So you really dig into a series. I also have Baering the List. As I said, if you want to see the ranking I place for the Straw Hat Pirates, will I do the Captains of the Fleet, the Grand Fleet? Yes, I will. I will do a separate video where I'll talk about the Punch and Kick Brothers. And I'll talk about the tiny little gnome guys. And all of the various other weird. And the giant pirates. And the one guy who I still don't understand why he got why he's there. And the dude that has a split personality that's evil, but that's not a devil fruit ability. That's just a thing. Uh, you know, that's another video. All right, I drank a little water. Let's talk about anime that came out recently as I get into this. Give me one quick second here. Be right back in just a second. I'm back. Sorry. Um, so it rained here in NYC very recently. And the rain did a thing where it brought all the pollen out. Like all the pollen that was in the trees, that's no longer in the trees. It's all in my nose. And that's been fun. Uh, no, dirty. I know that some people got that. We did not see that here in good old New York City, in Brooklyn anyway. We did not see any snow, no thunder. It didn't rain at all. I didn't get any of that. It's just fucking cold as hell. It's May, and it's cold. I don't know why, but it is. Anyway, let's talk about anime and not my allergies. Okay, so first and foremost, I'll say this: Ascendance of a Bookworm Season 2. You bore me. I'm done. I will binge watch it and fast forward through things. Sorry. Marathon. I'm trying to say marathon. I will marathon through you at another date. But right now, you are a boring show. And I like the characters. I just don't want to watch it anymore. So I'm taking a break from Ascendance of Bookworm. I'm going to wait for the season to be over. I will be watching you in June, I guess. Anyway. There were only 2 episodes of the Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited. So it's the Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited because he has an unlimited balance. Now, why he's not a billionaire, why he's the millionaire, I don't know. If he has unlimited funds, I don't know why he's the Millionaire Detective. Hey, what if Batman was an asshole? What if Bruce Wayne didn't pretend to be a nice person and like a gregarious sort? What if he was just the way he actually is? And what if instead of becoming Batman, Bruce Wayne joined a special police force unit? And what if the partner on that unit was a by-the-book cop who is so by-the-book he got moved out of the main police force special unit into the kind of whatever weirdo unit because he wasn't playing ball. He was too into protecting people and didn't play by his own rules. And I think we're supposed to finish the first episode of the Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited and think, oh, what a cool dynamic between these two people. And instead I said, fuck that dude. He can go to fucking hell. I don't care if he's rich. He doesn't have to be an asshole. And I don't care. Why does he want to be a cop? Oh, wait, I don't care. Why would I want to watch this show? And I think that the reason why some people are like, this is what I like, I'm into this is because there are people out there and they're living their truths, and I am happy for them living their truths. But their truth is that they like it when people are emotionless and rude and mean to them. I don't like that. That's not what I like. Learn a little bit about Pat Baer here. I like it when people are nice. I don't like it when people are mean to me. I'm not into that. So I'm sure there are some people who are like, this anime is exactly what I want. And for them, hell yeah, congratulations. I hope it comes back from hiatus because I feel like some anime are not going to come back from hiatus. They will just be canceled or postponed indefinitely and just never come back out. And I think some shows will resume in June. So if you are one of the people that saw the second episode of Millionaire Detectives Balance Unlimited and was like, this is my shit, this is what I'm into, good. I just didn't think it was a good show, and I don't want to watch it. That's it. Gallon Dino was fucking good, though. Okay, so I will say this. This is the first time that I watched the, where I think that the animated half of Gallon Dino was better than the live action half. Generally, I like the live action half better, but I think this one was the animation was better. So we've got they're gonna go to the movies, okay? Gonna go to the movies, or they're gonna rent some movies and watch some movies. So they go to the DVD rental place, which apparently Dino has never been to. And that's adorable, and that's fun. There's a lot of great dinosaur reaction shots where the dinosaur is like, wait, that's a thing? We can do that? He really wants to rent all of the episodes of the crime drama Partners, which is apparently like two no-nonsense cops. Which is a callback to a previous episode where they watched that. So he wants to rent that, but they can't do that. He walks into the adult section by mistake, and there's this like weird song that plays about like we're gonna do it, and they're like fake animated or cartoon like things, and it's not great. And it's like um, this isn't the best, but okay, sure. Uh, but then it's revealed that the ex-boyfriend was there renting tapes, and he's embarrassed. They don't get an adult video, which is good. They get a a version of Jurassic Park, which has a very funny moment in it, and they get a basically The Ring. And so there's a moment where like they're running from the T-Rex, and she's like, "Oh, it's you," and he's like, "That's not me." And then they're watching The Ring, and he's pointing at her, and she's like, the gout," and she's like, "No, that's no, that is you better not say that's me." I thought it was a cute little moment. And the second part is ex-boyfriend shows up with oranges, and they're gonna eat some oranges and hang out because it's the new year still, and they're gonna be underneath the kotatsu and have some oranges, and it's just kind of cute and it's silly. They do that game where you can take a small little orange and you can shove it on your thumb so that the orange is like this, and then you can wiggle your hands like like the orange is floating in the air, and that freaks him out. And he learns the trick, and he goes to show the landlady of the building the trick because he's so proud of it, and she gets excited, but she's not excited about the magic trick. She's excited at the idea that he can eat oranges because her cats don't like oranges, but he can eat oranges. And I don't know why that's what she's excited about, but I do love that. I think that's great that she's just like, you can eat oranges. Hooray. I don't know why. There was no parkour in Jurassic Parkour, at Jurassic Parkour, and that was disappointing. Yes, Ig, it was called Jurassic Parkour. You're right. Instead of Jurassic Park, that was their clever play on it, and we did not see any parkour. You're right. That was disappointing. So it was cute and fun, and it was them hanging out, and that was kind of nice and sweet. Then the live action portion was there was a joke in it that I thought was very, very good. And the joke was they were like, what can we do inside? Like they're playing games you would play inside. And then they cut to an outside shot and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous sunny day. And then there's a little clap of thunder. So instead of like, because it's basically like, oh, we're rained out. What are we going to do? They don't do that part. They just act like they're rained out, which I thought was kind of funny. So let's see. So they are going to F1 and 2. Okay, great. So they play some games. Now, a couple things happen here. One, they further acknowledge the idea that Gal and Dino is a thing that exists. And I don't understand that part. And the last episode, the live action part of the last episode ended with the Dino, our dinosaur, burning some kind of book. And we don't acknowledge that there. And I don't know why that happened. This one didn't have a lot of weirdness to it. It did have some weirdness to it, but it, for most part, was pretty straight. There was a point where the big dinosaur in the costume, because this is the live action part, transforms into a walking, reacting, stuffed animal version of himself, and he does ride in a little toy tank at one point. And then he also rides in a bunch of balloons, and I don't understand. So, Ig, I'm going to get to that, right? So, the assumption is he can transform into a smaller version of himself, right? That is the weird assumption. That's new information. She does go, what? She is accepting of it. Gal, for her credit, is very accepting of all of the weird shit that happens in her life, both in the animated version of her and the live-action version of her. She is generally just like, this is the thing that's happening right now. Okay. Which I very much appreciate. So they do these games. They do like some word games, and they do some different activities. And it is what it is. It is fine. And then she's like talking to the little version of himself, of Dino, and you see it from a different perspective. Now, normally in these live action versions, when you see the perspective from someone else looking at them, it is the weird comedian guy, or it is the weird guy with the book. It's been some other element that's going to get involved in the show. We don't see that here. Instead, we see the Dino, the full mascot costumed Dino. So Ig brings up the question, can Dino shrink himself, or can he create smaller versions of himself, or both? So Ig, I believe we are led to believe that there's two things that are happening. One, that I think that Dino can either make a version of himself that is smaller, or he can shrink himself, and the dinosaur that we see there is from an alternate timeline, because we've already established that alternate timelines exist in this thing, and there are two dinos. There's the dino that is shrinking, and then the dino that is watching them happy is the dinosaur from the last episode that went camping and burned the book. And this dinosaur is now watching over a version of himself be happy with Gal, because the last episode also ends with Gal being like, hey, where's my dinosaur? Because he was burning the book. So the other thing is, I could be wrong on both those things. Both those things could be wrong, because the second half of every episode of Gal and Dino has a logic to it, but I don't know if it has a logic to it, if that makes any sense. And if you haven't been watching, I understand that I have been saying complete and utter nonsense. I've just been speaking nonsense things, and I know that. And thank you for putting up with it. I encourage you to watch Gal and Dino because it is lovely and weird, and I think you'll like it. Uh, so yeah, so that's my theory. Is that um, the dinosaur that there are two dinosaurs now, um, and the second one we saw there that was watching, and like neither of them would have been able to see him, akin to the other dinosaurs or the other people that have that ability somehow. Uh, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, that show rules. Watch it. It's great. My next life is a villainess. It was summer vacation for everybody. We continue with the storyline that all these motherfuckers. I didn't even think about it being Steins Gate all of a sudden. Yeah. Yes, Ig. Um, it is somehow both Steins Gate and uh, Death Note somehow. Um, anyway, okay, so uh, my next life is a villainess. All routes lead to doom. Um, it's summer vacation. We So some stuff happened this episode, but not a lot. Some of it was like reminiscing and whatever. It was the summer. We saw the characters together. We are getting the sense that okay, we didn't know that there's one guy who is part of a storyline uh, where we really didn't see a lot of, and our main character didn't see a lot of because she didn't play that route. And there's a little touch of maybe like her friend told her what was going on that route, and maybe that's going to be important. We don't know, but we don't really know. And she might have some feelings for the dude in that route, but she doesn't really know. She has no idea that generally that every dude is into her, and all of her female friends are also into her. She has no concept that uh, she has developed this thing, and that there's like a rivalry. Um, Only one character doesn't realize that he likes her, because they have that like antagonist like one-upsmanship thing, and he is apparently unaware fully of his feelings. And then there's a whole thing where he's like, oh, I wonder if he likes her. Oh, she must be jealous. We're like, no, she's getting annoyed that he's starting to recognize his feelings because that is another person competing. I appreciate all this happening. We do have one dude who is straight up just like, I'm into you. And that's kind of interesting. And then we do get also a glimpse of a girl that would have been, if this world had been progressing like it did in the game, would have been our main character's, the villainess is like friend. Uh, Pat, is Mary going to start plotting to kill people in the name of love? No, Ig, I don't think that this is going to take that turn. Like, obviously, in the game world, characters are devious. Like, do I think that the brother and Giorgio are going to, like, maybe get into a fight? Yeah, I do think they might get into, like, a thing. It might become a thing. But no, I think Mary is like, oh no, I have to plant doubts in the other prince's head because he's starting to recognize that he has feelings for her because he did not realize that. I don't think she's plotting to kill him. I think she's like, she's been plotting to end up with him or with her because everybody wants to date her. Except maybe the white-haired girl who I thought was in love with her, but also knows her brother is into her. But maybe she's like, well, I can't be with her, but maybe my brother can. And I think that's what's happening there. I don't know. Um, but we did get the sense that the conflict is going to arrive by the girl that would have been helping her bully Maria is now going to probably try to plot her because she is jealous of the fact that this girl has literally a harem of both princes, uh, a distant relative nobleman, uh, a bunch of really dashing people, the quiet dashing guy that everyone's into, uh, and all the coolest ladies um, are into her. And also the student council president probably is also into her, although we don't really know. He's a big question mark because apparently he wasn't important in the game. There's a lot going on in this, and saying there's a lot going on in an isekai is pretty rad, y'all. Like, the thing is, this is a genre that even I question, why do I like these shows? Why do I like this genre? And so I'm just happy to I'm happy to have a show in a genre that I like, that is just genuinely a fun, cool thing. I'm just happy. My next life as Villainess, all routes lead to doom, is just a good isekai. And that is so surprising and refreshing. So I recommend. And now I will talk about another show that it was a good episode. So, Love is War. Kaguya-sama, Love is War. This show did kind of split things up into like 3 sections. The first section of it of the episode was about how our main dude. Well, right now, so one thing I like about this is it is a romantic comedy show where the main 2 characters like each other but are trying to get the other to confess, right? While they're going to high school, while they're all members of the student council. Well, the student council president is up for re-election. He's gonna try it again. So the student council is disbanded until there's a new student council. So there's a gap, and I assume there's a gap just for plot reasons. I don't know why there would be a gap, but there is. And because he's not acting as student council president right now, our main dude, who always has this like glare over his face because he's just tired because he works a lot, has been able to get more sleep than he has before. And the byproduct of that is that he just you can now see his nice, beautiful blue eyes. And he just looks peppy and looks refreshed and is acting a little different. And people are really psyched about that or weirded out about that, like Chika is, Fujiwara is. But turns out our main girl, Kaguya, not into it. She apparently really likes his dedicated gross eye thing. And is that Christian, yes, the love detective. Now, is that weird? Do they comment on how her being into the dead eye version of her of her quote unquote true love? Yes, it is creepy and weird, and it is commented on that, oh no, she has a fetish. And it is apparently a fetish that she likes the dead-eyed, mean version of the dude, that he's not always. Okay, so there's our sword in our sheath, and it lives there. Keep that there, that's cool. We got our knight has a sword, it has its cape, which are wings. We got to build a shield, and we got to build a lance. Let's build that lance. So that's the first story, which is great. It wraps up kind of weirdly. There's some reference to it, but they acknowledge that's weird, which I appreciate. And then we move on to the second story, which is my favorite of it. Turns out the president can't sing. He cannot sing. It will be a bit of a scandal because the first day of every week they sing the school theme, the school anthem, and it would be odd if he didn't sing it. he doesn't sing because he has a terrible singing voice because he's tone deaf. I want to watch the anime. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry, Christian. They have the second season. That's where I'm watching it. If it means anything to you, Christian, uh, it's hard to watch the second season if you didn't watch the first season because Funimation's player is bad. But I'm sorry. Yeah, Crunchyroll did not get the second season. It's on Funimation. Yeah. So uh, Fujiwara Chika finds out what's going on there. And so I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is just like the first season where she has to help him. Uh, Funimation now has the first season. Yes, Christian, they got the first season along with the second season running, airing weekly, and they also now have the first season as well. So they don't just start with the second season, which is good. Um, that would be, I mean, that has happened before, but it would be very weird. Um, so it's very reminiscent of the volleyball where he wants to be good at volleyball and he's bad, and she trains him and it's a nightmare, and she has like bad memories of it, and we see little moments of that. And I was thinking that, and then the anime references that happened, which y'all, anime doesn't always remember things that happen in anime. It was a pleasant surprise that they referenced a thing that happened on the show in previous times, and was like, she was like, "Oh, I promised myself I would never help you again after that." But she's actually good at music, and she gets kind of tricked into it because he's like, "I'm not that bad." He is that bad. He's very bad. And it's her like training him how to sing better, and it ends with her like just having an emotional breakdown because he's getting the music, because like it's that thing of like whatever, and then he's like, well, in elementary school the music teacher said I didn't have to sing, and then in middle school they asked me just to lip sync. My classmates asked me to lip sync at the concert, and I just kind of want to be able to do it. And she's like, why didn't you just say that? I'll help out. And it's like, it's a very sweet moment. It's the two of them have a nice rapport that is very fun. And I thought that was really neat. And then it basically ends with, we're kind of getting this whole like election thing coming up, and the character that was theoretically going to stop him from being reelected, but probably isn't. Um, and I don't really care about that. Like, I like the plot, but I only like the plot so much as I like their characters interacting because they are so over the top. Um, I guess I'll say I don't like being reminded that she is a manipulative, evil person. Um, Whereas I can kind of justify his wanting to have her confess because he knows that because he is, coming from a working class family and fighting for everything, that by allowing her to have a dominant position in the relationship, that she's like, he can't really go anywhere with it. But uh, it's still plotting, and I still don't enjoy that. As you all know, I'm not a big fan of tsundere relationships. But these characters aren't really tsundere because most of the time tsundere characters don't recognize that about themselves. They are in denial about their feelings, which is manifested with them like being rude and mean to characters, is because they are doing that because allowing themselves to feel things or acknowledge that they have feelings is bad or whatever. So they don't do that. Where in this one, they are very much aware of their feelings, but they don't want to give in. They don't want to quote unquote lose in the war. Uh, and that's fine. It's all mostly fine. Uh, so yeah, second season, pretty solid. And as I said, I am not watching any more of Ascendance of the Bookworm season 2. I'm going to wait for that to be all out totally, and then I'll marathon it when it's all out. Although theoretically, if things go the way that people would like them to go, there won't be much of a delay between the end of this season and the new shows start or shows returning, and there might be an overlap where the old shows are ending and the new shows are starting, but we have started to see things slip. Uh, yeah, Christian, it's just so slow. I didn't watch Ascendance of Bookworm season one week to week. I waited until it was all over and went back to it and enjoyed it that way. I'm just not really enjoying it week to week. Just not enough happens. Oh yeah, I mentioned this I think before how Quintessential Quintuplets has been postponed. The other show that's being postponed is a show. Here's the thing. I hadn't heard anything about this show until it announced that it was being delayed until next year because originally it was going to be part of the fall release. It's a show called Vlad Love, and it is a screwball comedy about a girl that she likes donating blood because it's a thing she can do to help people. And then there's a weird thing where a pale girl is there and loses consciousness, and it's called Vlad Love. So one would assume that pale girl is a vampire, and this is some sort of goofy vampire show. And fuck yeah, I'm in. I'm in. Vlad Love? I don't know what Vlad Love is, but I think it's a comedy with vampires. And that sounds pretty good to me. That sounds like a thing that I would like to see. So bring on the vampires. So here is our lance, which as you can see has a gun. Is a gun. It's it's just got like that's just nonsense. The lance is designed very weirdly. So we got a sword, we got our lance. We got to connect our shields. You can hold the lance set differently with the gun, but we will. All right, we got to put our last two pieces there. What are these other pieces? What are these red pieces? Did I miss a piece? Did I miss something? Got these pieces here. Oh, I think that's for connecting them together. Yes. Oh, okay. So what you can do is the weapons can go on the back where the Nightwing is. You can put these components on and put the weapons behind the wings. That's pretty neat. We're not going to do that, but you can do that. But yeah, so a bunch of stuff has been delayed. It's anime coming out later, which is a shame. Because it's nice when it would be nice to have some of these shows out now, but they're not, and that's okay. So yeah, you can take the wings off and put that on with the lance and the shield, and that becomes somehow that becomes a drone, and I don't know how that works. I like the way it's holding into the picture. Oh yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have it like holding it like a gun. Although in the picture, let's see. Yeah, it is doing that. Yeah, so we'll do like that. Yeah, I mean, like, it'll be interesting to see what also like more shows that we're supposed to come out in the fall. Like we've got Quintessential Quintuplets being pushed, Vlad Love being pushed. More of those shows are going to have to be pushed because the show, at the very least, because the shows that were supposed to be coming out, like, have to come out at some point, or the ones that have been on hiatus. I hope they come back. I mean, like Diary of Our Days of Breakwater, I would like to see again because I thought that show had a lot of promise. So it would be nice to have that show return. Um, you know, and as I say, or try to say, all of that is with the understanding that I also want people to be safe and healthy. And so, like, if shows are delayed for a long time or, get postponed or whatever, I'm like, okay, okay. Like, yeah, I still want season two of Laid Back Camp next year, and I still want um, uh, that time I got reincarnated as a slime because the plan was there's going to be half the season of season two, the first half, Then there was going to be the diary one, which is the side story, and then there was going to be the second half of the second season. Like, yeah, I still want all that, but I also like want the people who are making it to be healthy and okay. So, you know, that's important. Um, so hopefully they will be. Okay, so how do I do this here? So this is going to go here. Got to see how this shield goes. The shield goes. This is going to go on here. But yeah, you got to hope that everyone is okay. You know, I keep wondering, like, okay, what other shows do I like? Like, uh, what was Gal and Dino gonna like? Are they changing what the live action is because they can't go outside as much, or they didn't finish taping all of it? Uh, like what shows do I like? There's some CG fight stuff that happens from a Chinese company is part of Eighth Son. Like is that going to get delayed because there's a big fight scene that's coming up? Uh, or is that company back to work and so they've gotten that's done or what? Like I don't know. So it'll be it's an ongoing thing where you're like, I don't know what's happening. It's kind of weird. All right. We are done with our kit here. I'm going to do I think I'm going to do the holding lance position for this. But we have completed this kit. This was a two-stream build. We'll take a look at the next thing we're building. We won't start it because it's a Lego set. So we will start that on Monday. So tune in on Monday for our next thing. But this is done. All but done here. We got our lance. That, yeah. There we go. We got our lance, we got our shield, our sword. Yeah, right. I'm a sucker for a knight theme, and this has a really strong, obviously, like it's the Justice Knight. But I've always been a big sucker for that as a style of model kit. So I'm definitely super into that. We'll just put the sword right there. I wish the sword had a little more detail. It doesn't. I wish it had more for it, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, that's that kit, and then the next thing that we will be building, which we will start on Monday, because we're just out of time here, is our monster burger truck. We are building a monster truck that sells burgers. Oh, there it is. We're building this thing. Now it's a 3-in-1, so we will build the different trucks here. You can see it in the photos. We will be building those two first. We'll build one of those, and then we'll end with the burger truck with the little dog. Because why would we build that first? We can't. We got to save the best for last. So that's the next thing that's on the docket. That's starting on Monday. I'm very excited about this kit and getting it going. And getting some knolling done and doing all that. All right, so we end every stream with a raid. That's how we do things here in the old Build with Baer. So we will do that. I'm gonna go and find a stream for us to raid. Somebody cool and fun and doing some stuff. We will check out what's going on with them. And let's see. I'm just going to go in and check out some people here. Can I see the build? Oh, yeah. Oh, you joined late. Yes, we just finished our night. This is our Justice Night. We finished it. We started this on Thursday, and now we're here. The complete build. It is a rad kit. I like the little green touches on it. We can go back to this feed there. Okay. All right, we are gonna raid. Uh, we're gonna raid our friend Zandra. Zandra, you may know from being a wonderful person who made all of the emotes on our stream. Zandra Rules is a friend, and we're gonna go give them a raid and check out her stream. She's playing. I think she's doing co-op with one of her partners. So we'll go check that out. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you can join me on Monday for my next build stream when we start doing some Lego stuff. Thanks for being here again. Tuesday will be the next game stream, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I will be continuing to play Arcade Spirits, so please join me for that. Thanks so much for coming out to Build with Baer. Have a great night. See you on the next stream. Bye-bye.